when we make the move to expand? And how do we break through the internal barriers that hold us back? We can pick up clues from the most successful people in the world. Today, Melody will review some techniques she learned from Adam Markle, author of Pivot, Barb Schwartz, inventor of home staging, and Tony Robbins, presenting Breaking Through the Comfort Zone. Please welcome up Melody Chambers.
All right, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, thank you for being here today. So today I'm here to talk about our comfort zones. So all of us have them if we have an imaginary sphere around ourselves. And inside that comfort zone, it's really cozy and comfortable. And maybe sometimes it gets a little bit stale. So if you can imagine you have a comfort zone around you and it's like a cylinder around you and there's a window that's carved out. And you're safe inside your comfort zone, but you're looking out the window and you see people over here that seem to be having an adventurous time. And people over here who seem to be having a really fun time. And it looks really exciting and fun to be outside the comfort zone. So then we think about getting out of our comfort zone and joining those people that are having fun and adventure. And we start to think about all the bad things that can happen, and fear and lack of confidence sets in. Every example that we can think of in the past comes to mind of where maybe we took a risk and things didn't happen quite the way we wanted them to, or we just completely bombed. And then there are the stories that people tell us, right? People only like to tell you their horror stories. They love to share their horror stories. So you hear horror stories of somebody else that stepped out of their comfort zone, and then what happened with them. Or there could be a script that's running in the back of your mind that you may not even be aware is happening. And the script could be, that's not you. That's only for super rich, successful people. You probably wouldn't be successful at that. Is it all right if I tell you a story? Okay. Back in 2006, when I was a loan executive to United Way of King County, I attended an event where I was to represent United Way at an event, and I was expected to mingle. Now, I had been trained on giving the United Way speech, so I was actually more comfortable with the idea of giving a United Way speech than I was about mingling. And in fact, I was terrified of mingling. The group that we were meeting with was a group of attorneys, and they were the top attorneys in Seattle. There's a lot of Fortune 500 companies in Seattle, so these were top attorneys in the United States. So I had a script that was running through my mind that I was going to say the wrong thing. I was going to say something stupid. I was going to embarrass myself and United Way because I didn't know what to say when mingling with people. So I stood in the back of the room, and I'm watching our keynote speaker, who was former Governor Gary Locke. He's also an attorney, and he was with one of those firms. And I feel this script playing out in my head, and before I know it, I'm starting to sway. And suddenly, I have to try as hard as I can not to pass out. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I was this close to passing out, which, by the way, would have been a lot worse than saying the wrong thing to an attorney when mingling. I would have been the girl who passed out while Governor Gary Locke was giving his speech at this United Way event. So fortunately, I was able to snap myself out of it. And the reason I was so terrified is because I was determined to mingle. Even though I was terrified, I was going to do it. And that's why I started to almost pass out. So Governor Gary Locke finishes his speech, and one of the ladies that works for United Way, who is a professional mingler, grabbed me by the arm and said, "All right, let's go." And so before you knew it, I didn't even have time to think. I was just jumped in there and started mingling with United Way people, guests, and hosts. And I ended up having an amazing time. It turns out the people that go to United Way conferences, meetings, even if they're attorneys, are actually super nice people. They care about the community. They care about what you're doing. They want to be part of it. They want to be part of the solution. And I ended up meeting the attorney for the company that I worked for. And it was really fun because we had kind of worked together, but we had never met. So I had had forwarded information to her. She had represented us. I was actually able to talk with her and find out what happened with that. We talked for a long time, and it turns out that she was a $10,000 a year donor to United Way. At one point in the evening, I looked around at my other loan executives, and I saw them standing in the back of the room and talking to each other, safe in their comfort zones. So how do you think I appeared to these attorneys in this room versus these loan executives who stayed safe in their comfort zones? I represented United Way better, I looked better, and I had a great time. So success is on the other side of your comfort zone. We all want to get there. We just have to get past ourselves. I'm going to show you some simple exercises that I learned from some of the most successful people in the world that you can use to help you push through the comfort zone. So what if I were to tell you that if I hadn't been standing in the back of the room like this, terrified, but I had had a stance like this, then I probably wouldn't have come that close to passing out. And part of it is you don't want to lock your knees. That's probably a bad thing to do. But part of it is that when you expand your body, you feel more powerful. And when other people see you, you appear more powerful. So I'm going to have us do an exercise, and don't worry about bumping the person next to you. Everybody in their chair can do this. So you can do this anywhere at any time. So if you start to feel like you're shrinking in, or if you feel yourself going like this, that's a very vulnerable thing. Do this. So everybody do this in the back of your chair. Take a second and see how you feel. And it doesn't look weird. This is a normal stance. Okay, thank you. All right, the bigger that you can make your body, so if you're standing at attention, you can do this. Or if you even feel vibrant enough, you can do this. The bigger you make your body, the more powerful you'll feel. The second thing that you can do, and the first thing I'm going to have you do, is I'm going to have you close your eyes, if you will. I want you to imagine the most terrifying thing that you can think of. For me, this year, it was tax season. I was absolutely terrified. I knew I was going to have to pay taxes, so I was terrified about that. So do you have a picture of that in your mind? Okay, great. Now I want you to imagine the person or pet that you've had in your life that has made you feel the happiest. So imagine that person now. Think about, or pet, think about all the things that this person or pet means to you and what they have brought in your life. Think about all the joy you've had for knowing them. Imagine yourself standing next to your pet or person. How do you feel? Now let's think back to the thing that terrifies you the most. How do you feel? So I'm going to guess, and you can open your eyes now if you want. I'm going to guess that you took the power of fear away from that item because you physically cannot hold fear in your body and gratitude and love at the same time. If you have gratitude and love, you cannot feel a negative emotion. So I'm going to leave you with this. There are rewards for going outside your comfort zone. And the world needs you to do it. Because the bigger, greater, more expanded versions of ourselves that we can make, the more inspiring we're going to be to others. So I hope you use these tricks to expand your comfort zone. And that's all I have.